Well, it's a few days after the Michaels have come home. We're seeing on social media photos of them getting haircuts, getting vaccinated. It's obviously great to see. I hope these gentlemen are given privacy, and I also hope they're given help getting back to a normal life. Canada has experience with this before. I could think of Amanda Lindhout or Robert Fowler or Melissa Fung. There have been other Canadians in recent years we've brought back from captivity under varying conditions, typically horrific. And I hope that we've learned lessons from these previous Canadians that the two Michaels can now benefit from. But more to the point, I've been interested to see the discussion coming out of Washington, out of Beijing, out of Ottawa, and of foreign policy experts of all kinds talking about what this means for the broader relationship. What I hope it means is that Canada can now make decisions in the open. And what I mean by that is that for the last few years, we've seen Australia, the United Kingdom, the United States, the French, we've seen Vietnam, South Korea, Japan, the Philippines, countries sort of grappling with how to deal with China very much in the open. It is something that they can talk about, that they can debate, that is part of their political culture and their dialogue. And in Canada, we're terrified. We don't want to have these conversations. And I think we're going to find out now, for better or worse, and I'm not picking between those options, whether or not that was because they had two Canadian hostages, or whether or not because we just don't want to have these conversations. It has been something we've had to kind of watch over the last, not quite 2 years, since the pandemic began, is a degree of Canadian unseriousness on frequent display at the federal level, at the provincial level, at municipal level. We can't do things we ought to be able to do. And rather than have conversations about why, rather than talk about capacity, we talk about, oh, it's the other guy's fault. And something I've said to you all before in these videos, one of the things that worries me is that we are going to have ourselves a situation when this pandemic's over where, because we had a liberal federal government and we had a bunch of provincial conservative premiers, rather than have everyone sort of look within their own jurisdiction and go, this is what we could have done better, they're going to go, well, you know, we never could have succeeded because of those evil conservatives at the provinces or those evil liberals at the federal level. It's time for us to all get serious within our own areas of responsibility. The two Michaels were either something that was really hobbling our ability to come to a more rational, focused, and realistic foreign policy given the rapid changes we're seeing in China, or it was a convenient excuse for us to avoid having conversations we don't want to have. One of the things that holds back Canadian policy matters in foreign policy and national defense and intelligence is that we prefer to ignore the unpleasant things that, if acknowledged, would compel action. You know, how do you avoid standing up to a bully? You pretend he's not a bully. Boom, problem solved. It doesn't actually solve the problem, of course, but too many Canadian policymakers and too many Canadian thought leaders pretend that it does. The Michaels are home, thank God. That removes that one issue from consideration. Now it is up to us as a country to decide what is the appropriate way to deal with China. Let's have that discussion. Let's have it in the open. And if we decide to do nothing, let us not accept for a moment from any politician who says he didn't have a choice. The Michaels are home now. The hostages are back. What we do next or don't do next is up to us.